Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equity Story. And I'm with the great Wolf. And Wolf, I'm feeling very, very good at the moment because where am I? Where actually am I? Do you know that? That's not my house,
I
by the way.
didn't know what it was. I had to actually ask you, and you told me that you are getting knighted there very shortly.
Yeah,
that's the Buckingham Palace for you.
Yeah, that's it. I think I'm getting my knighted taken off me actually.
Maybe the king will just swing his sword and cut your head off.
Yeah, I think he did. I think he might. Well, if my wife was knighting me, yeah, she would definitely cut my head off. Yeah. Anyway, before we start,
stick away from knighting then, okay?
All right. Before we start, this is general share advice and not personal advice, so that's important to say. And Wolf, let's get going on this because plenty to talk about. And before we start, and we start looking at some stocks that put out announcements today, let's talk about gold because we spoke about this, right? And I was talking to you a little bit about gold and where it could possibly go to, yeah. And I'm looking at gold. I'm looking at US dollars because I think that's what the market looks at a little bit, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you've got the double top here, and you know, as a chartist, you think, well, you know, you want to. Sometimes it can often be, it's the third or fourth time you get the breakout, and I'm sort of thinking to myself, well, okay, maybe it could come back down here before it goes higher. I think on the weekend, I felt I saw gold come back down, by the way, back down to 2000. Actually, it's slightly below 2000 now. So I felt, you know, advice to take profits on gold plays was the right thing to do because I mean, we've made some great money on gold last 2 or 3 weeks. However, one thing the charts say now, there's something else that's come up, and I'd like you to talk about that and a little bit why you think, even if gold, for example, even if these gold plays come down over the next 2 or 3, you're more long term now on gold. So take it away, Wolfie. Take it away.
Yeah. So I'm just looking at gold because we spoke about it, and I'm thinking there's probably much more life in it left in a short to medium term, right? And the reason why I've been reading on the weekends some interesting information, trouble brewing in the US in a real estate commercial market, right? Commercial real estate market in the US. So basically the story goes like this. So during the pre-pandemic days where interest rates were zero, a lot of companies out there leveraged themselves quite nicely, you know, bought a lot of commercial properties out there, had, you know, people working in those offices in America. Then the pandemic hit. People decided to work from home. A lot of people work from home. And unfortunately, since then, it hasn't returned to pre-pandemic levels. And what the article suggests in there that the actual some office space is 50% empty still, right? Which is troublesome for a number of reasons. So the first thing, the problem is, so interest rates going up, servicing your debt is going to be much higher. Then if you can't get people into your building, you've got to start discounting your rents to attract more people in there. So that's puts pressure on your cash flows. And then, of course, who's funding all this stuff, Dave? The banks, right? Yeah. So that's the trouble. That's the problem that's brewing in the US. And they are suggesting here, watch out. You could have another possible run on the banks if one of these big property players maybe falls over or something on those happens. So just be wary, be cautious, and keep, you know, just keep vigilant on this space and in banks in general, just to see how the markets perform. But I think ultimately gold is probably going to still, as a result, it's probably still going to be pretty strong. And I'd say hold that nice $2,000 mark.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll watch that $2,000 mark. It's important, and it needs to hold it by the end of the week. Obviously, it's everyone's decision what they're going to do with gold. We picked it. You know, we do the easy thing. We pick it when it's a good time to buy it. Knowing when to take profits is difficult, but I'll tell you what, a profit is a profit, and nothing like making money.
Yes.
Wolfie, yeah, the situation in gold, I think, is absolutely fascinating. Also, the situation with these banks in America is becoming fascinating. They've already they've got enough problems as it is. with a lot of the bonds they've invested in with low rates, and something like a property crash where they're going to have to, there'll be fire sales of office blocks. I'm interested. Why hasn't America? I'm looking at Sydney now. It's all turned back to normal. We're all back to work. Why are the Americans? Why have they been so reluctant to go back to the office?
I think, first of all, from my worker point of view, who doesn't want to work from home, Dave? You've got more freedom. You've got more flexibility. If you had a choice, I'd say majority of people say I want to work from home.
Well, you've always worked from home.
I know, so I don't even know what it feels like working in the office. But I'm just saying, I mean, it's very difficult to convince someone to go back to office, to work at that office. It probably costs more anyway for the employee to do so, right? So I can understand why there's a trouble of doing that. So something's got to give over there. Whether we're affected here, because I know this is your other questions. How are we going to in Australia be affected? Are we going to see repercussions if that happens in the US? And I'd say possibly, because usually if there's a problem in the US, it usually spreads globally to some extent. So just be wary. So for me, to be honest, if I was in any of the commercial real estate for dividends, I'd probably find another alternative dividend player. Just for the moment, you don't need to probably be there because you've got so many different alternatives. And hopefully, we'll get off it scot-free. Nothing's going to happen. But just for the peace of mind, maybe it's better to be out of it. You just don't know what's underneath the bonnet, right? You lift it up and maybe there is probably troubles as well.
All right. Very, very interesting, Mr. Wolf. Now, some announcements today. Newcrest Mining, Newmont's lifted their offer.
Yep.
Very, very good. So congratulations. People held that and they're making a little bit more money. But again, that, the price now is reliant on the gold price, and you can see it fluctuate if gold does come down. So look,
it's still a function of AGG's price, right? Of its share price, because it's still all scrip. But now on current numbers and current AGG share price, the offer is implied at $32. So you've got that another $2 from here.
Excellent. And Wolf, I'm actually listen, I'm sort of how do you say, pleasantly surprised how it's performed. It's been a great call, hasn't it?
Absolutely. And even if you're taking profits on it, all good. You've probably hopefully made some money on this.
Okay, now Wolfie, another announcement today was LYL.
Yes.
What's your
look,
opinion?
it's going very well. I mean, this is why I love buying companies that are on a roll. And when I say on a roll, profit upgrades or really strong updates and outlooks, right? Because it tends to keep going for some time. Just like on the downgrades, I want to get out as quick as I can because there's usually like a pattern forming that there's going to be bad news for quite some time. LOA are on that upswing at the moment with good announcements after good announcement after the good announcement. So they're still talking that buoyant market for them. They still got a lot of work. They're still winning contracts. So they've updated the market saying this is how it is. And the market's rewarding them for them at the moment. So, all in all, Dave, if you're on this train, LYL train, I'd still probably hold it on the back of this announcement.
And I think we had this on the 2nd of the 12th as a hot stock.
Yep.
And hopefully people are doing very, very well on this and still making some decent money. I think it's up nearly 25-30%.
Yep.
And you know what, Wolf? It's given no reason to get out of it, has it? It's never, by the end of the week, ever broke really support. It never broke that 8. It's been very, very, very good. So if you played it as per the Cincinnati trading system, you should still be in it. And at the moment, it's still not giving you any reason to get out.
Oh, that's right. That's exactly right. Because that announcement just gives you further incentive that you could actually start looking at the $10.
All right. And maybe wait till the weekend. If it's on Einstein's at the weekend, that'll be a signal that you can buy it again. Or if you're not in it, buy it. So let's just see where it is by the end of the week. ARU, Wolf, rare earths. Listen, great looking chart. This is what we want to do. Buy these stories going up. What's the take on this?
Oh, that's a binding offtake. And look, I need to explain the binding offtake. So, it's between two parties. you've got a supplier, which is ARU, and you've got obviously the buyer, who's I think one of the Europeans, right? That want to buy it's where it's NDPR what do you call it thing. So it's a product. So if you've got a company that are willing to pay for good money for something that's ARU can deliver. The problem is though, ARU has to deliver this, right? Because of course the buyer wants consistency of the product, consistency of the delivery. They want to be, they've probably got a lot of these sort of deals that they're going to make. So for me, usually these binding offtake agreements don't mean much until you know that the company can actually deliver that product. So they've got to build a mine pretty much. They've got to build a mine. They've got to have the product, and then after go, okay, they've got something there. But it's all part of the process, understandably. So it's a good news, of course, but it doesn't mean much unless you can actually build a mine.
All right, and so really just a trending stock.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if you are in it, it's certainly a hold. Wolf, if there is an issue with properties or sort of, it's mainly offices, but it also could be sort of retail shops around in America, right? Would that be helpful for something like Lovisa? And the reason I'm saying Lovisa, we've got a lot of people in this. It's it's trending quite nicely. It's up today. It was a hot stock, I think, in February. Does that mean possibly, shops like Lovisa, arguably Maya, would be another one? Would they be getting better deals, better rents?
Look, it's a good question. All I've been reading is about office space, right, for the working population. Now, when you think about the other commercial real estate, which is obviously shops and so on, you probably have to start thinking about recession. Say if there's a US recession, how is that going to impact some of these things? So I think there's a bit more complicated in this instance. So I don't know how to answer the question for you. I look, there's probably some good news and maybe some bad news. Both ways, I think it'd probably work.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know. I have to probably fence it on this. I have to think a bit more of a think about where is a stronger pull for me in that. But what I've been reading was just about office space, about the workers still deciding not to come back to the office in the US.
Okay, brilliant. Now, Wolfie, we haven't got any sort of buys today. It's at the beginning of the week, and it's been a sort of and I think we've got quite a few new members today, and it's important. What we'll do if we've got a buy, we'll put the buy out. You'll see it on the trade watch. You'll say buy at a certain price. We did put out a number of stocks last week, and I still think they're interesting. And I just want to go through these. I think Sol still looks good, Wolf, and it's sort of marching higher. West Farmers, again, with that little breakout, I think it looks particularly good. And I still think there's a trade in all these if people are looking for a trade. VEE, we were pretty passionate about this one last week. 12.5% dividend and moving up with a good announcement. If you're not in it, it's well worth having a look at. We talk about Next DC. Again, I think it's trending, it's trading, it's looking very, very good. And no reason why I can't test somewhere under that 12, Wolf, right? In the short term. Fisher and Paykel, we called it here. It never broke the trend line. You got your breakout, bang, up it goes. Very, very, very good. IGL, just holding the trend, well worth having a look at. JLG, another one. Maybe needs to do a little bit more. See where it is by the end of the week. But if it could be over that 655 by the end of the week, I think you should be looking at it. And of course, PEXA. I think you've got great risk reward. You've got a nice little stop loss at maybe 13.59 now. And, this could go on, Wolf. This is a stock that's gone down from, it's nearly gone down actually by half, not far off, right? It's breaking up. Remember, we don't want to buy pick bottoms. We want to try and pick it when this is starting to trend. And PEXA, for me, Wolf, is looking very, very interesting.
Yes, isn't it? It's the first time for a long time it's looking actually positive.
Well, you're always looking for risk reward, aren't you? You're looking for a risk reward. What's your risk? What's your reward? And
finally, it looks like it's in your favor, right?
Yeah, definitely. It does look very, very good. All right. On that note, Wolfie, I love you and leave you. And
we've got our, remember, this is Tuesday today, Dave. So we've got our Ask the Analyst tonight.
We are live, and we're live at 7 o'clock, and we look forward. And any questions you've got on any stocks there, we're there to answer. So we always love it. And all right, bye from Buckingham Palace, Wolf.
I was going to say God Save the Queen, but she's dead.
Yeah.
Do you actually start singing God Save the King now? Is that how it's going to go?
Yeah, definitely. Very good, Wolf. We'll make a poem of you yet one day. All right. See you, mate.
Bye.
Bye.